We have a real treat for you guys here today on the FMSCOUT channel. I'm going to be showcasing one of my favourite skins in all of Football Manager, one that's had an update recently and genuinely might be the most game-changing skin in all of FM. It's definitely right up there if it's not the most game-changing, but I certainly think it is. I think you guys are going to absolutely love it, so without further ado, let's get right into it. And the skin that we're going to be looking at today is the Musterman Iconic skin. It's one that we covered last during FM23, I believe, and then it was already a great skin, but I think it's just got so much better over time, such great functionality, so many little details to it that just take it above and beyond many skins out there in the game, in my opinion. But what I will say before we get too detailed into this, just so you know, this skin is an attributeless skin. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's where the numbered attributes that you normally have for players are hidden. Instead, they're replaced with some kind of graphical representation of how good a player is. And if you're someone out there that thinks, oh, you know what, I only like my attributes, I don't like attributeless skins, stick with me in this video, because I think if I show you everything, or at least most of the things that this skin offers, you might change your mind about using a skin like this. Now, I'll link this article in the description down below for you. This leads you to the FMSCOUT website where you can download this skin. It's also got a written article about some of the things this skin features. Not everything, but a lot of the things this skin features, but I'm going to cover all of those in a video today, so I won't spend too long on it. And on top of that, there is also a changelog. Every time there's an update, you'll be able to see what's been changed. But less about the skin for now. Let's first talk about how you're going to download it and be able to use it. Well, guess what? You're going to hit this download now button. This will take you to a download screen. You're going to hit download on this button here, and then before you know it, you will have a .rar file in your downloads on your computer. Now head to your download section of your computer files, and you will see your .rar file that we've downloaded from the FMSCOUT webpage, but we're going to need to go ahead and extract this. To do so, right click on the file. I use WinRAR to extract my files. If you have something else, use that. If you don't know how to extract a .rar file, feel free to search upon the internet for whatever platform you're on, and I'm sure there'll be loads of guides out there on how to do it. It's not solely a Football Manager thing. But yes, once you're sorted, go ahead, extract those files to wherever you want on your computer, enter into the Musterman Iconic folder that now exists, and we're going to go ahead and copy the 3 folders within this file. Next, go ahead and navigate to your Football Manager 24 files on your computer, and we're going to go to the skin section of the FM files. Now, I would show you the exact path I've used to get to my FM files, but mine has been customized. It's unique to me, so it won't make sense for you lot. So for you guys, if you don't know how to get to your FM files, again, there's plenty of ways to do it, and I'll even try and link an article down below for you in the description on how to do so. But basically, go straight ahead into the one that says skins. If you don't have a file that says skins, go ahead, create a folder and name it skins, and then paste in your Musterman files from earlier. We've got the alt files, the light, and the dark, and that's because this skin has both a light and a dark version, so there's something for everyone. So now you've sorted all that, all the files are in the right place, it's time to head on over to Football Manager and start setting this up in game. Now, before we get there, I'd just like to ask you guys, if you do get any use out of this video, to smash the like button and comment down below if you do have any questions about the skin. On top of that, a huge shout out to Musterman FM, the man behind this skin. He also has a brilliant YouTube channel with some fantastic content. I'll put it on screen now, and again, I'll link him in the description if you want to go check that out. But now for the next step, we're in Football Manager, and you're going to load up the Musterman skin, which, as you can see, I've already done. But for you guys, you will have either the base FM skin or the FM skin of your choice that you currently have. But to change this, you're going to go ahead to the preferences section of Football Manager on the home screen. On the overview tab, you will see there is a skin drop down here. Go on there and choose whichever skin you like. I'll show you both the dark and the light version of Musterman, but for me, my favorite is the dark version, so I'm going to select that. Then you're going to head to the advanced section, use this drop down, change it from most common to say interface, and I want you to tick this button that says reload skin and remove this caching option. Go ahead and hit confirm. Once you've hit the confirm button, after a few seconds of waiting, your skin will load up. Now, just quickly, you do want to go to the preferences section. You're then going to want to tick the caching option that we unticked, and then untick the reload skin option, and once again hit confirm. And now the Musterman skin is installed and ready to use in FM. Before we actually jump into Football Manager itself though, just to show you a few quick things that it is on the menu, not only does it shout out everyone behind helping making this skin, but it also shows showcases other skins should you want to try something else. On top of that, there's some handy YouTube channels. Unfortunately, I don't quite make the cut. We've got RDF, the brilliant RDF, Deepline Playmaker, FM Llama, loads of other options on here, including Musterman's own channel. So if you don't want to use the link in the description, you can get to it from there instead. There's also some other graphic options that you can download from plenty of different sites, and some great blogs and sites out there, including FMSCOUT, a place to be, guys. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's load up a random save that I've got to show you what this looks like in game. And first, we are greeted with the home screen here. Now, I'm not going to break down every single little thing about this skin, every single screen, because there's so much to it, and I want you guys to explore it for yourself. But I'm going to give you a base overview of what this skin looks like. Firstly, on your overview screen here, one thing that I really like are these buttons here. Now, Musterman will say himself he loves buttons. I've seen a few videos where he talks about it. He doesn't like too much information on the screen at once. You want to only bring up things that really matter to you at the time, and you can do so with all of these great little button clicks. Whatever you want to see on the home page, you can set up. But this is, you know, the home page. It's not something that's going to completely change your experience of FM. That will come a little bit later, but just to show you some other screens that do look great. I like the club info screen, almost set up like the club's website, really. I've always liked on his skin how the kits are set up like it's the club shop. On top of that, the news section is set up like an actual news page, which, you know, just makes sense. It's the way it should really look, like you're going on BBC Sport or whatever. This bit I love though. Wait until you see this. We're going to click on the Club Vision screen, and instead of just showing you the 5-year plan and all the other Club Vision things you're expected to do, it's laid out in a much better way, and it even has this cool little animation where things pop up and you see what you need to do in the next few seasons. Simple but effective. But let's get to the bit you'll all want to see, how this skin changes your FM experience. And like I say, if you're not someone that necessarily thinks attributeless skins would be for you, I think this could change your mind, not just for all the things that we've already mentioned, but let's take a player, for example, like Yunus Musa in our midfield. We can click on him and we get lots of information presented to us. Now, at first, this might look a little bit strange to you, one, because it looks nothing like your standard FM skin, but also, instead of all the information being crammed on one screen across ways, the Musterman skin tends to favour a scrolling method where you're not blasted with all the information at once, and instead you can scroll down and get it piece by piece and only look at the things you want to see. Some people prefer everything on one screen, that's fine, but the Musterman skin is built differently to that. But I'm going to show you some of the things I love on this screen. Firstly, you can click this button up here, which doesn't just show you the role suitability of every player, but also shows you where that player is played across the course of the season, so we get an idea that Yunus Musa has been used in that central midfield role. There's also these archetype style things that you get up here. This will give you a rough overview of the style of player that we're looking at, whether it is a fox in the box player, a clinical striker, whether it's someone that's a free-spirited forward who likes to create opportunities for others, or in this case, Yunus Musa is a quarterback. Someone that's involved in build-up play quite a lot, and as you can see, he definitely is. All of these archetypes are based on a player's stats across the course of a season, which you can see here in these charts. And if you hover over this question mark here, it will tell you that this player, Yunus Musa in this example, is being compared to other players in similar roles in the top 20 leagues around the world to see how he performs compared against them. Now, currently this is comparing him to every player, but we want to compare him to, say, defensive midfielders or attacking midfielders. You can do so here and get a judge of how good Yunus Musa is compared to others. Now, the bigger the slice of pizza in this pizza chart, the higher Yunus Musa is in that percentile. So all of these rings across this image here show you a certain percentile. The bigger the pizza, the better he is represented in that section of the game. So Yunus Musa, as we can see, is a player that attempts some of the most pressures in the whole world. He'll be in the top few percent of players that do that in world football, whereas headers won, he's very low on. He's not really someone that's going to win things in the air. It looks like he's in the top 27%. On top of the pizza chart, you've also got bar graphs, you've got data hub versions of these graphs if you want to see things that way. You've even got the pasty charts, or I think Musterman calls them the nipple charts, and if you guys want to use them instead with some other great information on the screen. For me, I love the pizza charts. I think you could get by just with them, but of course you can use all of those other brilliant graphs should you want them. But the thing to note here, of course, is that our attributes aren't represented in game. No longer do we know what Yunus Musa's decision making is, his flair, his composure. We just have a rough idea of how good he might be in those areas, and that's similar to how it would be in real life. You would know if Yunus Musa was a good finisher or passer, but whether he's a 15 out of 20, a 16 out of 20, a 14 out of 20, you don't really know. So this is more realistic than the standard attributes that FM provides, I would say. So if you're looking looking for a Moneyball style save where you have to use data, this is the one you want to go for. Now you can hover over this section here. If you click this button, you'll get the attribute key, which will tell you if something is yellow, he's very good at that section of the game. If it's a normal green circle, he is somewhere in the rating of 11 to 15. Free kicks is obviously a smaller circle, so he's not going to be as good in those areas. So if you need a key to help you, this is how you can see it. Now, if you're someone that doesn't like the fact we've got yellow and green as the attribute colors here, don't worry, the Musterman skin comes with some pre-selected color styles that I'll show you later that you can quickly swap over and completely change the way that these look. But yeah, so this is what the screen looks like. You're not going to know the exact attributes of your players. You've got loads of information if you scroll down too, but it's not just changes on this screen that affect the way you might play Football Manager. The tactic screen looks a little bit different too. One thing I love is when you go to change something about the tactic, it doesn't hover over the tactic itself, it pulls up on the side, whether it's out of possession. And there's plenty of more little features like that really just make this skin really fun to use. But before I show you how you can change the color schemes and also show you the light version of this skin, let me show you what the skin looks like in a match. So it's match day. We're about to play a friendly against Spezia here with our Sassuolo side. If you do want to use it, there is an instant result feature on this. The Musterman skin's very good at giving credit to certain sections of the skin that are inspired by others. This part, for example, is inspired by the Wanna-Chup instant result button. But let's get into a game and see how it looks. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the match. We get this lovely little lineup sheet here that looks really cool, but when we actually get onto the pitch, this is when you will see the changes that this skin provides, because instead of us having all the information across the screen like normal, if we get to a point where we are outside of a highlight, so let me just change this to key highlights, wait for this to be over, you get the match tablet that features on other versions of Football Manager, but not on the PC version. So basically, it's like you're having a little iPad, you're on the side of your pitch as a manager, and you can see everything you want to see, from the current stats of the game, to the XG story, the analysis, other matches going on, you've got team analysis, player analysis. Obviously throughout the game you'll get more information on those screens, but this is a brilliant way to look at the game. I think it looks really cool. But that's all the features that I want to show you for now, but let me quickly show you how you can, if you want to, change the colour scheme of this skin. Firstly, you'll remember there was a folder that we downloaded called the Musterman Iconic Alt Files. You're going to go into there, and then you're going to want to go into dark or light mode, depending on what version of the skin you're using. For us, dark mode, and then you're going to go into colour files. Now, if you do this, you will see a few of the different colour schemes that have already been set up by Musterman that you can try for yourself, whether it's Agave, which uses teals, Vincent, which uses yellows, Showtime, which uses purple and yellow. Let's choose a random one. Let's go for Tic Tac, green and orange. All you're going to do is right click and copy that file, go back to the skins folder that we were in earlier, choose your dark or light skin depending on what you're using. For us, dark, then head into the settings section and paste in this new file. Now what you're going to need to do is take the name of this Musterman Iconic Dark Settings, which you can do here, copy the name of that file. We're then going to delete the already existing settings file, and now we can rename it to Musterman Iconic Dark Settings. You'll then have to reload the skin in game, so follow the same things that we did right at the start when we went into Football Manager to get that skin ready. And now, as you can see, we do have the orange and green theming running throughout this skin. If we go into one of our players, this guy for example, you can see he's got a different set of attribute colours. In this one, excellent is going to be green and good orange and whatnot. So if this is one that interests you, use this, but feel free to tweak it, try out all the different colour schemes that have already been created, and hopefully you'll find one for you. But this has been the dark skin. Let me quickly show you the light skin. Again, all you're going to do is the same process you followed before, but just choose a light skin this time. And here you go, here is the light skin. Now I personally prefer the dark one much more, but obviously it's completely up to your own preference. But just to show you, this is what it looks like. If you like your skins a little bit brighter, then this could be for you. But there we go, that's one of the most game-changing skins I think out there, the Musterman FM skin. A massive credit has to go out to him for the skin. Again, his YouTube channel will be in the description, as well as the download link for this skin. Hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, smash the like button, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.